I got a new truck, I got a new ride, I got it souped up.
Oh, a thread about Florida Georgia Line's new truck, which I've not talked about, have I? Florida Georgia Line's new truck is the worst song ever. They're linking to the Saving Country Music article. This song, I think they're going for like TikTok views. It sounds so juvenile.
Shawty wanna ride, shawty when I roll by.
This has Baby Shark energy, is what New Truck has. And I don't know if you've been following the saga of Florida Georgia Line. I think it probably merits its own video eventually, but they aren't breaking up, but they are venturing out.
Said to be able to venture out and have a voice of our own and have an individuality a little bit. We've always been a package deal, which has been amazing. But I think there's freedom to be able to not always be a package deal.
They're going to still put out an album together, but then Tyler Hubbard is collaborating with Tim McGraw on that song, Undivided, and someone else had a meme in here about how it's basically Be a Light Part 2. Brian Kelly, who is not kind of the main voice that you hear in the mix, he's putting out a solo album.
Kind of where I landed, man, was really falling in love with my guitar and writing songs again, even more than ever. You know, maybe I think I'm supposed to sing these and probably have a project or, you know, an outlet for these to come out on.
And that's going to be really interesting to hear, like, what do you have to say when left to your own devices? Because sometimes Brian shows up in co-writes, like Jake Owen's Drink All Day.
You can build you a big old castle in the sand, do a backflip off a cat.
That I really like, and I'm like, oh, I just wonder what you want to say. Frankly, I'm a lot more intrigued by Brian's future career. I feel like Tyler is really into this idea of being like a Hollywood rapper, and feels just the way he presents himself and talks, it just feels out of touch to me. I think Long Live is one of the laziest lyrics ever.
Just out here doing what we've always done.
I think New Truck is trash. I mean, I think this song sucks. Not just because it's a truck song. You know, there are good truck songs. As the top comment here says, at least Hardy can make a song specifically about trucks sound good, but they're just all over the place, and I can't tell if they're about to break up or if they're just kind of delaying the breakup or what's going on. But they had that little tiff about politics where there was some unfollowing on social media. So just Florida Georgia Line is just keep an eye on it, you know, keep an eye on it.
Just to clarify, FGL is not breaking up. So anyone who says that, you can just tell them, hey, from the mouth of Tyler and BK, we're not breaking up.
That's right.
We're just venturing out.
This one just says, imagine if the album of the year is called And. What this is referencing is definitely Eric Church has announced his 3 albums that are coming out in April: Heart, and Soul. And is going to be like a church choir like exclusive vinyl.
The middle record, And, was made for and only available to you.
But the other ones are called Heart and Soul. He has this kind of red and blue cover. We've been talking about that, how there's like a red, a purple, and blue album covers of his pre-release songs, and they're each going to have a kind of different vibe. He's very proud of this work.
They came out of my 28 days in the mountains of North Carolina where the songs were recorded and written. I cannot wait to play this music for you live. It is the very best we've ever made.
I'm so pumped to hear him. I love Eric Church. Do I need a triple album? Much like I said with Morgan Wallen's Dangerous, no. But I'm not going to complain about it. I'm excited for his music, and we'll have already heard like half of it by the time that these albums actually come out. And then I guess we should just brace ourselves for the inevitable quadruple album from Miranda or quintuple album from Luke Bryan or something down the road. I hate to say it, am I the only one that thinks Sand in My Boots is nearly the same song as Anything But Mine? Okay, this is a Kenny Chesney song, Anything But Mine. A lot of people are mentioning this.
Now I'm dodging potholes in my sunburned Silverado.
Morning, I'm leaving, making my way back to Cleveland.
That they just feel like these are super, super similar songs, just kind of the way you fall into the chorus about being away from the beach where you fell in love. Kenny Chesney's in Cleveland, but yeah, you can see in the comments here, a lot of people agree. Honestly shocked at how little this is being discussed. To me, I don't think they're close enough that it's feeling the way it did when Florida Georgia Line put out I Love My Country, and everyone was like, that sounds like Short Skirt Weather. And then they quietly had to add the writers of Short Skirt Weather to their writing list, which was shady. I don't think that's going to happen here, but I definitely hear the similar vibe. And then this one would really intrigue me. I'm going to read this. Taste change. When I started following Grady Smith on YouTube, his taste in country music was narrower and more ideological. I was happy to find a kindred spirit in thinking country music had kind of lost the plot, at least on the radio. It seems that over the last 4 to 6 months, though, Grady has more and more embraced the popular and veered from his prior ideals. I don't mean to suggest there is anything wrong with that. Everyone can like what they like, and my tastes are not better than anyone else's. I'm just finding that the channel and Grady has evolved away from how I found it. I always knew he liked Taylor Swift, and I think that's just a typo, which I never could reconcile with his search for more traditional country. I'll still be lurking for a while to see how things are progressing, but feel like the schism has widened enough that soon I won't be following his channel anymore. This was really interesting to me, and it's not, there's parts of it that I can see, and there's other parts of it that I don't think are correct. Most people find me in some kind of negative video, a worst or the Snaptrack video. Every country song has these lyrics. Stuff like that is how most people find me. And they assume a lot of times that I am harsher to the mainstream than I am because that's their intro to me. I'm rebuking. Then they come to find, oh, he actually doesn't hate a lot of the mainstream. Like, my love of independent country isn't rooted in hating the mainstream. But I do think there is a little bit of a point here in this kind of last year and embracing the popular. It's pretty weird how the industry has reacted to this channel. I feel like I look at other YouTubers in like the rock and pop and rap space, and they just kind of do their thing. Country music, instead of just kind of like ignoring this channel and saying it's irrelevant, who cares, they're on YouTube, they like reach out and they want to involve you and they want to talk to you and present opportunities to you and collaborate, and like big managers and even stars will message you. And it's like not normal for me in Virginia to be like, wow, why is someone from Lady Antebellum, Lady A, sorry, messaging me, or Danning Shay, or Florida Georgia Line, or a lot of people, you know? And it's weird because you're like, I haven't even been very kind to this song, and here you are saying like, I like your stuff. And I don't feel like it's the right thing to kind of put on blast every conversation I've had. At the same time, there is some humanization that happens there, and I've had to really fight to not buy into that. I try to ghost everyone. I try to not talk to any of them. I don't want to be their friend because then you lose all partiality. And I think that's already the issue that happens in corporate media. How are you going to really write something negative about an album if the label is next door and if you want that star to come in and shoot a video for your website? It's hard to. And I try to keep that wall up. But the wall has kind of come down a little bit, you know? I have been in touch in some of these places, and I think last year there was a part of me that was maybe being a little bit political in that way, but moreover, I was finding myself frustrated that so many people were telling me to be negative, telling me to attack the industry, when I think there's a lot of great things happening in the industry. And so I almost wanted to course correct the people that were expecting me to trash everything that was coming out of Music Row and be like, no, I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna be positive because I want people to get it. So I do think there was a kind of a deliberate change there, but I also think I've always kind of been more at the middle of the road. I said my goals earlier in this video about wanting to be a bridge kind of between Texas and Nashville, and to me that really represents the major labels and the independent scene. I think I cover more smaller artists and independent artists than people might realize. They might be in roundups or sort of yeehaw or yee nah videos or stuff like that, but I really try to keep it like evenly spread. It is a goal of mine in 2021 to make more content that really showcases independent artists that I love. That doesn't mean there's going to be a separate video essay on this little artist with 1,000 followers that you just think is so amazing. That doesn't make sense for anyone. But I feel like I've established myself. I know how the YouTube game works. I feel comfortable in this life stage. And so now maybe I can start to do some things I'm a little more passionate about. Stuff like, I don't know, the Coulter Wall video. I wasn't sure that was going to do well, and it's ended up being really popular. And that's like, okay, cool. Maybe I could do a Childers video. Maybe Cody Johnson like could anchor a video, or Aaron Watson or something like that. But I don't know. I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. I feel like very simpatico with how PewDiePie approaches his channel, which is like, I don't want to keep all these rigid rules for myself about how to do this. I want to just keep making stuff as I see fit. But yeah, it's just the nature of the beast that I might really like a Tessie Lou Williams song and a Luke Combs song the same amount, and I feel great about that. But I'm not offended by that. I think that's like a sensible comment. This comment says, his livelihood is built on people engaging with his content. He needs to make content geared towards the biggest audience and the audience that's the most vocal. That's not untrue. You know, that's a piece of things. But to be fair, he gave that Morgan album like a 6, not really high praise. He's a good spectrum between Billboard and Trigger. I'll take that. I do view myself kind of as the middle road, and I feel like that's a good place to end. Have fun on Reddit. Check out the subreddit below and all the other links that I mentioned. This was fun. It's really fun to be a fan with you guys, and I'm just grateful for your engagement with this weird little world of country music combo that we have. So if you've been lurking for a while, just go ahead and subscribe. I'm not gonna tell anybody. Like this video if you liked it, and thanks for the memes, guys. And now let's go to the moon.